Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today is May 19, 2024. I am Muhyiddin Muhammad Yusuf, the President of World Rohingya Organization. We, the Rohingya people living in America, and Rohingya Relief Foundation and World Rohingya Organization join with the emergency call and the protest by Rohingya American Society and Rohingya Cultural Center on the date of May 18, 2024 in front of the United Nations headquarters in New York. We endorse and fully support the emergency call of the Rohingya American Society and the Rohingya Cultural Center, and we stand with the demands and condemnation of these both organizations because they are real concern for the sake of
Our
vital
heartfelt
interests
thanks
of
and
the Rohingya
appreciation goes to our Honorable Brother Nasir Zakaria, who is the founder and director of the Rohingya Cultural Center, Chicago, Illinois State, and our respectable brother MSK Jilani Shokat Ali Chosuang, who is the executive director of Rohingya American Society, Milwaukee, Wisconsin State. Also, we would like to thank our brother Dr. Abdul Hamid from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and also our brother, respectable leader of the Rohingya Relief Foundation, Abdul Malik bin Yahya from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There are many people to whom we should convey our message of felicitations and thanks. Particularly, I am very proud and convey my thanks and appreciation to the Rohingyas who came to participate in the protests from Buffalo, New York, Utica, New York, Chicago, Illinois State, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and other places. We have to stand unitedly all the time when it is required to advocate and to protest and to consolidate our demand for the protection and to stop the genocide against the Rohingya people by Myanmar military forces and Arakan army.
The leadership of World Rohingya Organization and Rohingya Relief Foundation urgently calls upon the international community, the United Nations, and the United States government to take decisive actions on the ongoing genocide against the Rohingya people perpetrated by the brutal Myanmar military forces and the aggressive and misguided Arakan army. The situation has reached a critical condition where immediate protection under the United States, United Nations responsibility to protect doctrine is imperative. The Rohingya have endured systematic persecutions, violence, displacements, and destruction for years, culminating in a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented scale. Despite international condemnation, the atrocities continue unabated, with thousands of innocent Rohingya lives at risk daily. The brutal Myanmar military's campaign of extermination and Arakan Army's aggressive actions have resulted in mass killings, sexual violence, and destruction of entire villages of the Rohingya people. These acts constitute clear violation of human rights and international laws, demanding an urgent and robust responses. We, the Rohingya people, implore the United Nations to invoke the responsibility to protect our 2P principle, which obligated the international community to protect population from genocide, war crimes, and ethnic cleansing, and crime against humanity. When their own state is unwilling or unable to protect its people, the creation of safe zone with Myanmar, within Myanmar, protected by UN peacekeeping forces, is essential to ensuring the safety and security of the Rohingya people now. The safe zone must be established without delay to prevent further loss of life and provide immediate protection and sanctuary where humanitarian aid can be delivered effectively. Additionally, we urge the United States government and other influential nations to lead and support these efforts, leveraging their diplomatic and economic influence, and put pressure to Myanmar government to cease the genocidal actions. Coordinated by international sanctions, diplomatic resolutions, and the targeted actions against those who are responsible for these crimes are critical components of a comprehensive state to end the violence. We, the leadership of the World Rohingya organizations and the Rohingya Relief Foundation, demand the immediate and conditional repatriation of more than 1 million Rohingya refugees from Bangladesh to Myanmar with safety, security, and dignity, including the restoration of their citizenship rights. The Rohingya people have a right to return to their homeland and live without fear of persecutions in their homeland. Their repatriations must be conducted in a manner that ensures their full protections and respects their human rights. The World Rohingya Organization and the Rohingya Relief Foundation stands ready to cooperate and collaborate with all other Rohingya organizations, particularly Rohingya American Society, Rohingya Cultural Center, and other overseas organizations to cooperate with all the stakeholders to facilitate dialogue, supporting the humanitarian initiatives, and ensuring that the Rohingyas are heard on the global stage. The time for action is now.
The denial of the existence of the Rohingya people in Arakan State, Burma, by the misguided, racist, and xenophobic Arakan army led by 219 is also committing genocide against the Rohingya people. Now, the Rohingyas are caught in the middle between Burmese military forces and Arakan army repression and persecution and creating violence by both groups. The Myanmar military junta led by Myanmar Online is now engaged employing and forcefully recruiting the Rohingya youth in the military service to fight against the Arakan army. So, up to now, 1,000 Rohingya youths have been recruited by Burmese military junta without the voluntary participation and by force. On the other hand, the Arakan army fighting against the Burmese security forces, they blame and accuse the Rohingyas for siding and participating in the Myanmar military service. Taking these pretexts, they are also killing, they are also burning the houses of the Rohingyas, the destruction of the villages of the Rohingyas in Mount of Butidong and Ratidong. Now, the Rohingyas have become the victim of double-edged genocide of Burmese military and also Arakan army, because the Rohingyas were given few days of training and they are being used as human shield against Arakan army fighters. So in this situation, the general Rohingya people in Arakan state has become helpless and they became pawn of the Arakan army and also Burmese military forces. They are now unprotected. They are trying to survive, but both the enemy forces of Burmese military forces and Arakan army are making the lives of the Rohingya people a hell in their own homeland without security, safety, and peace. In this situation, we strongly condemn the Burmese military forces and the Arakan army. Mr. May Online is also a war criminal, as well as Mr. Thamranai, the commander-in-chief and leader of Arakan army, is also a war criminal. They both should be taken into consideration for accountability and justice and for punishment. In this situation, we condemn all forms of violence in any form. The Arakan army, which has been denying the equal share of justice and nativity and the human rights of the Rohingya people. In this situation, the Rohingyas have no option but to defend themselves. In this context, we, the Rohingya people living scattered all over the world and in diaspora, and the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh refugee camps, we have morally to support the legitimate struggle and resistance of the Rohingya people inside Arakan. Frankly to say, actually the genocide of the Rohingyas were initiated by the misguided, racist, xenophobic Rakhine leader Dr. Amau, who, with the pretext of a fabricated rape and murder case of Marty Datwe, and then the genocide elections started. So Rakhines are more responsible for the genocide of the Rohingya people. If today, when Arakan army is fighting against the Myanmar military government with a dream to establish an independent and sovereign nation in the name of Arakan nation, with the motto and the idealism of Rakita Lansing, that means Rakhine way of thoughts and political thesis, is a complete wrong philosophy, because Arakan is belong to people of Arakan. The people of Arakan comprise Rakhine, Rohingya, Khmer, Mru, Pa, Khmer, Daina, and other minority like Christians, Hindus, all and people Chinese people. All people of Arakan are equal shareholders of Arakan state, its political and economic resources and activities. So until and unless the Rakhine leadership, especially Thamranai and his colleagues, who are heading and leading a war against Myanmar military junta, should be well aware of the fact that Rohingya population cannot be marginalized. We want to let you know, Mr. Thamranai and the leaders of United League of Arakan and Arakan Army to be sincere enough and to become patriotic and to take lead and initiative to reconcile, to restore relation with full respect to the integrity, to the ethnic nationality and identity of the Rohingya people, giving them full respects as Rakhine community. In this situation, failure to do so will not achieve the goal of Arakan Army, and Arakan cannot be an independent and sovereign country without the participation of the Rohingya people. So, we stand with all democratic and resistant forces of the Rohingya who are operating alongside the Bangladesh-Myanmar border and inside Arakan, such as Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, Rohingya Solidarity Organization, Arakan Rohingya Army, and other forces. We urge them to unite, to work together, to make a strategic plan to defend the Rohingya people from the onslaught from both Burmese military forces and Arakan armies. In this situation, we are very much concerned of the current situation and finally request the international community, United States, United Nations, European Union, and those democratic forces in Burma in the name of National Unity Government, Patriotic Democratic Forces, PDFs, armed insurgent groups, that Rohingya cannot be isolated. Rohingya should not be left out. Rohingyas are part and parcel of the Burmese population. Rohingyas are the ethnic nationality of the Arakan state. So, we have to wait and see how the policy takes changes in the mindset of the Burmese democratic forces and Arakan freedom fighters or Arakan terrorist organization forces who intentionally and willingly try to exclude the Rohingya people from the fabric and the society of the Arakan homeland. Today, we are together to fight against all our enemy forces who intentionally trying to wipe out the remaining Rohingya people from the soil of Arakan. Rohingyas are a compact community and must living in the traditional homeland of Arakan state, Myanmar. So, it is very important that the Rohingya people maintain their own security measures, creating a stable and solid and a powerful armed forces. Because now Burma, Myanmar is a place where only the gun, the barrel of the gun decides what to do. All the national minorities are fighting against the Myanmar military junta, so the Rohingyas are fighting the same. So we all have sympathy, cooperation, collaboration, support all people of Arakan and Myanmar. In this situation, with the leadership of World Rohingya Organization and Rohingya Relief Foundation, joining hands with the two organizations, Rohingya American Society, Rohingya Cultural Center, who has initiated to protest worldwide and to advocate the cause of the Rohingyas with an urgent call, with an emergency call to stop genocide, to stop double genocide committed by both Myanmar military forces and Arakan army. We are here, we are ready that we will do our best to forge unity among the ranks of all Rohingya organizations, parties and forces who are fighting for the survival and self-determination of the Rohingya people through the doctrine and concept of responsibility to protect of the United Nations and US government by creating a safe zone with the help and support of the UN peacekeeping force in Arakan within Myanmar, Burma. In conclusion, we believe that all Rohingya must be united, disregarding their minor differences, and if united and work together in team spirit, all the Rohingya political activists and organizations must work together to defend the Rohingya people. Particularly, we, the Rohingyas in America, should take a strong initiative for this sacred cause of the Rohingya people. In America, there are some remarkable, qualified, skillful Rohingya activists and politicians, such as our most honorable former MP Wu Chui Mao, who lives in Texas, and his brother Wu Mau Mau, and our respectable brother Rizauddin, the acting Director General of Arakan Union, and also leading Burmese Rohingya Association of North America, BRANA. And also we have Dr. Habibullah in Maryland, we have Yusuf Iqbal, we have Abdul Rauf, and we have MSK Jilani, Choso Aung, and then also our brother Nasir Zakaria and our brother Mustaq, and there are many other people in America who can unite and work together for the cause of Rohingya people. And our brother Shafiqul Anwar, brother Ashabuddin, and brother Kimawing Anwar also can play a big role, maybe also a guiding factor. We have also Ma Wewinu and Master Anwar and other Lucky Karim, many respectable women activists too, including Sharifa Shakira, who lives in Texas. Finally, I call upon all these great activists and politicians and defenders of the Rohingya interests to sit down together through a Zoom meeting or a conference in a suitable place to formulate a joint strategic policy in America to safeguard the Rohingya interests and stop genocide in Arakan, Burma. Thank you very much to listen and watching my WRO YouTube TV channel.